Yes, here we go. Better turn the microphone on. Yes, here we go. It is the P.M.P. It's Wednesday night. Celtic, top of the table. Terry, Rob joins us. A flash, celebrity Twitter Celtic fans in the background. Choked to the cold. I think she was threatening to come on, Terry. But she's not got the balls to come on, so sadly not. But that was, I thought, a very, very professional performance by Celtic in extreme conditions, hostile environment. All the factors against us, potentially the gap could have closed if we were paying attention to other games in the league. Not for us. We're not looking over our shoulders. It's all the other teams that are looking in front of themselves and above their own shoulder and behind their own shoulders. But for us, we're in a great place, mate. These are the games that define league titles. You called the title weeks ago. It's the ribbons are on, are they not? I mean, what's the point in all these? We'd probably just give up the P.M.P. till whatever date in March when we win this thing, no?
I called 10 in a row weeks ago, I think. Tonight was a bit of an anticlimax, mainly in my mind because of the weather. It was a game I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
It was a game I was thinking will be it'll be a test. But I have to say, at no stage tonight did I feel that we were really under any threat. And as much as we weren't creating chances, and as much as it was difficult to create chances, I did still feel that we would get one. I felt there would be one moment of quality at some point before the end of the game, and we were the team that produced it. And you know what? Even if it had been a draw, I wouldn't have been overly disappointed. I think we've already established a decent lead now, and I just thought tonight the wind's up to 60 mile an hour, and I know some people will be disappointed with how the team played, but I just think it was very, very difficult to play any kind of decent football. The ball was just blowing every shape, and definitely not conducive to good football. But I think we had to adapt to it, and we had to battle those elements and find a way to still come away with the 3 points, and we've done that. So very, very happy.
It's a sign of the evolution of the side now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
It's a sign of the team's evolving, mate. That is as simple as that. I look at the way that we can handle. You're right to describe the conditions, because I thought that was the most obvious thing about the game was it was stopping the flow. I thought we actually played really well first half, but yet we associate Celtic great first halves this season with chance after chance, and to be honest, they usually impose goals as well. I can't remember us testing the goalkeeper apart from his jaw with Kyogo's knee in that first half. I don't remember us getting many shots. I mean, that was because the conditions weren't conducive. But the difference with this version of Celtic is they can navigate it, they can handle it, and they're not letting the other factors weigh down on them. I also thought, environment-wise, set by the Aberdeen fans, I love the pyro they do at the start on the pitch. For me, that's, if you're going to have pyro at the games, I don't mind it either way, right, to be perfectly honest with you. But I know many are against it in the stands. That's Aberdeen's sort of way of counteracting it. The fucking feeling before the game began was, I fucking love this shit. This is, then once you actually watch the game of football try to actually occur, it became tricky to watch. Celtic last season don't get 3 points. That's how far they've came. And it's not big. And by the way, that could have been the version of Aberdeen from last season as well. We still wouldn't have got 3 points in that. I just think the squad has really evolved, and I thought they controlled the game as best as they absolutely could. And I also felt there's a maturity about them now, or an experience from last year when they felt maybe a lot of the Ange players that were in, because they were so accustomed with success, hadn't felt the heat that we got mid-season last year. And I always thought, I think we talked about it, like, this will be a good thing for them in the long run if they win that fucking league last year. And I think you're seeing the rewards for us going through a rocky space. I think the confidence, the experience that's given them, I thought shone through tonight. I still thought we played very good football on the deck, considering the environment we were in.
Yeah, we probably did, Bhoycie. Probably did. Did you feel under threat at any stage? Did you feel? I mean, you're talking about an Aberdeen team that have earned a lot of plaudits and a lot of points, to be fair to them, and they went into tonight with 100% home record. That 100% record is now gone. But other than a couple of chances in the last 10 minutes when they kind of tried to go for it, whenever they were a goal down, other than those two chances, Schmeichel had very, very little to do. And anything he did have to do, he did it. He did it relatively comfortably. I mean, the chance that the guy had where it opened up for him and he screwed it wide, that was a decent chance. And the chance where Trusty had a little bit of an error, but Carter Vickers bailed him out. That was also a good chance. But this is a team that they've wiped all before them at Pittodrie this season. Obviously, we weren't expecting them that they were going to wipe us away, but I was probably expecting more from them. And I think you probably have to just admit that it was a difficult night for them to play the way they wanted to do as well. Albeit, I don't think their approach or their preferred approach is anywhere near the same as our preferred approach. And they were also able to unleash the two Rottweilers in the centre of the park. Both of
just stole it from me.
Both of you committed a foul. Both of you committed a foul within 5 minutes. Both of whom had been carded by half time. Both of whom are very, very poor excuses for football players. And I think a sign of the maturity as well as we our players didn't get bogged down in that. They didn't retaliate. They just let those two fizzle out, and it got to the point where they'd made that many fouls that they couldn't make any more because they were going to get their orders. But
mate,
once we rewind
on that.
Yeah,
let's, because the thing is, I'm glad you brought that up, because if we're talking about a game of, maybe not the highest quality football or loads of opportunities and things like that, then the one thing that was certainly animating me watching the game was the I think it was 10 minutes in, 12 minutes in, and Nielsen fouls one of our players, then fouls another. The second one's not the one given. The first one's the one given. But regardless of that, he's only blown for the first foul, because that's where he points to, if you remember. It's for where the first foul was. But, Jesus, Paddy, nearly knocked the mic out my stand. Right, anyway, but where he's pointed to for the foul means it's where the first foul occurred. So that means in real play, you've watched him then foul two Celtic players in a row. The second one is just it's a swipe, mate, right? He just went, oh, fuck this. He's tried to have a nibble, and then he just swipes the legs. That's the booking, mate. End of story. And I said at the time to Flash, I was like, I think certain personalities in the game get more leeway. Now, you could argue we don't want woke football. We like it being, a wee bit more personality-based. But what I fucking hate is Nielsen got away with those two fouls because of who he is. And because if I book you now, I'm sending you off today. And probably in the first half. So if that's another player of Aberdeen who does those two fouls, which are two fouls, even though there's only one can be given at one time, it's still two fouls he's committed right under the ref's nose. I guarantee you, another player, there's a yellow. But he doesn't get booked because the ref is acutely aware, I'm going to red card you probably before half time if I do that. So he's actually getting held to a different standard. But Keeb is the epitome of sometimes a trait you need to take when the teams you're playing against are too good. We had no problem with Baldy roughing up players in Europe under O'Neill. We had no problem with things like that. Mialbi, Baldy at the back, and we had a team of proper physical players. He's dirty. He's a dirty player, and I think that game potentially could have worked in someone like that's favour unless refereed properly. Now, we'll overlook, or most of the time it'll get overlooked, Terry, because we won the match. But I think it's still important to highlight it in a game that was, in terms of result, nip and tuck. albeit I agree with you. I thought we were far away better, and I never felt under threat we would lose the match. These sort of things have to get nipped in the bud early on, or they get used to or it's to the other team's advantage. Nielsen picked up from where he left off at Celtic Park as well. I'm sure you'll remember.
Yeah. To be fair to the ref, I think he booked Shinnie really early, and I think the two of them are very much two peas in a pod, or two peas on a pod. The both of them just were leaving the boot in from the first minute, and whilst I don't think there was anything violent or anything at any stage, they were totting up the numbers from the first 5 minutes. It was obvious both were going to get booked. He managed to keep Nielsen out of the book until just before half time, but Shinnie was in it really, really early, because my wee bet that I did tonight was both of those players to get booked, so I was keeping an eye on it. But it was a gift. I mean, that guy Nielsen, he was 2-1 to get a yellow card. I just thought it was printing money, to be honest. But I think there was a nasty streak right throughout the Aberdeen side. It wasn't just those two. Those two are kind of the figureheads. They're the
Yeah.
I just thought there was a nasty streak, and I think the crowd were really, really up for the game, and they were baying for blood.
We should welcome that, by the way.
For absolutely everyone. Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
That's no problem.
That's what you want. You want good atmospheres at the football. Here's another one, Bhoycie, just to turn it. And I know we'll go through the game, or we'll take it chronologically as such. But there wasn't an awful lot of goal mouth action. But if we look at the moment in the first half where the ball did end up in the net, if Maeda commits that foul, shall we say, on any other player other than the goalkeeper, that doesn't get blown for a free kick. It's only because it was the goalkeeper.
Is that a rule?
No, it's not a rule. It's my
the rule is the phase of play still gets played out.
It's my interpretation of
no, but the rule is, but the rule is. Well, I'll tell you my interpretation is because it's leading to a dangerous situation that's going to potentially go to a goal, and that's why he's panicked. And that's not. I'm not going to go down the bias route, but there's almost he's instinctively or impulsively, and this is where the competence level gets all drawn into it. Is if he sees that the centre midfield, as you rightfully point out, you let it play, right? He thinks he's seen a foul, you let it play. He thinks he's seen a foul at the goal area, and he's blown his whistle in almost involuntary. It's done, but that in itself is a foul by the ref, because of a better expression, because that's never going to get reversed, right? Because they know the actual natural phase of play that was occurring has been altered. It's been altered by that whistle going. Whether we don't know what happened, but because that whistle's went, you can't now put this down as an accurate depiction of how that phase plays out. But he's blown that whistle, mate, wrongly. And then the ridiculous position they're in is because it's not. If Celtic got the goal, deep down we'd all go, because the whistle had went, it never really felt like a goal even in lifetime. But how humbling it must be when you're sitting there, not humbling, but humiliating, might be a better expression. When you're sitting there, though, and you watch it back and you're going, fucking hell, we've got to back this. We literally have to back this. What is Maeda's crime now? Do you honestly see that as a foul?
I thought it was extremely soft, and I'm thinking back to the one we. Oh, it's extremely soft.
It's not even a foul. It's just not even.
Yeah, I don't think it is. And I'm thinking back to the one we got away with Joe Hart against Rangers, but it was nothing like that. But there was a clear push on Joe Hart. There was nothing. There was nothing from Maeda. Him and the goalkeeper are jostling. Lots and lots of players were jostling in that penalty box, both at that corner and at earlier corners. There was a lot more took place in other instances than took place there.
Can I tell you something as well, Terry? And you'll agree with I'm glad you just gave that example about the Joe Hart one. See the beauty of it with the Joe Hart one is VAR's responsibility is to flag after the event if they see something. So that phase plays out without the referee blowing the whistle. Do VAR step in to flag a foul by Maeda tonight?
I don't think so.
They don't, mate. They fucking don't. That's where it's a brilliant example you give when you look at that one. I'm glad you did, because I think of that and I go, wait the fucking now. That was exactly how VAR was meant to be played out. There's something obvious, guys. We need to flag it up in the VAR room, or the VAR caravan, whatever the fuck they're in. We need to flag it because it's blatant. It's in front of your face. I don't see VAR stepping in there whatsoever if that referee hasn't blown the whistle. I think they've got to agonise of going, is there actually enough there for us to... Well, we're going to look ridiculous if we stand it as a goal because it wasn't really real live football then. But you've just made the best analysis. You flip it the other way around. There is no way VAR do what they did in the Scottish Cup final and step in there if that had just been natural allowed to play out. And it was still the same outcome, of course, and the ball goes in the net. They do not step in to say that was a foul by Maeda. Definitely.
If he lets it play out, it's only a second, half a second. And even then, if he blows and gives his opinion that he thinks it was a foul, as long as he has waited that second to let it play out, then that's when VAR can come in and tell him whether they think he's made an obvious error. I just don't know how he can blow the whistle so quick for... It was that early a whistle. I don't even know if the incident with Maeda had happened when he started blowing it. But no, I thought that was extremely soft. And I think the guys at halftime, even Neil said he thought it was a foul. I thought it was very, very soft.
I think that's when they're all being kind, mate. They're all fucking... Because it's preposterous that still at our elite level, Scotland's version of top level, that referee is incapable. Bobo's going to get you. Yeah, I've tried to tell the dog, no one knocks my door. Like, no one knocks my door. I mean, he gets my hopes up every time. But yeah, there's absolutely no way. There's no way the pundits are saying that the other way around, Terry. That's the key. When he gets asked if that ball goes in the net and real time's allowed to play out, and Lenny then gets asked at halftime why VAR have pulled the whole thing up, he'll be like, what the fuck are they doing stepping in at that? That's the reality.
Yeah. That scene is obviously going at halftime level. Then he makes a change at halftime. So again, if we maybe just wind back to the lineup, then Bhoycie, I had sort of felt that he would revert to type in terms of the big game lineup, which I thought would include both Taylor and Engels, and those two were omitted, which is good. I'm glad to see that he isn't just one dimensional in that for the perceived big games he's going to go with a fixed 11. I think McCowan can feel hard done by in terms of
one goal, 3 assists. But I
know the 3 assists were a wee bit. You know, if you pass the ball 2 yards and somebody shoots from 25 and puts in the top corner.
Still though.
But it is. And I thought he was bright again when he came on, Bhoycie. And
yes, me too.
I thought we started to create. We created more chances in the time that he was on the park than we did.
I thought Ida was huge.
Yeah.
What did you make Adam Ida when he comes on?
I thought he was good, and I kind of was thinking tonight, was that maybe tailor-made for him?
That's the game
because of the conditions. Because of the conditions.
See the games we talk about being the stereotypical, like for like. You know, some games that Kyogo pose the most problems. Some games Ida will, and we think it'll be horses for courses. Not much between them. Kyogo's probably the slightly preferred one, but he's a brilliant option either for certain different types of fixtures, different types of opposition, and as you rightfully point out, different conditions. It was electric at the weekend. Kyogo wasn't. That game tonight looked tailor-made for it, and all the factors I've listed there, and he doesn't start. And yet, I've got to be honest, maybe I don't know if I am being subconsciously biased. I felt he was the change for Celtic that had to be made. And when he was, I felt we became a better side for it, or a better force of when we're in that final third, which didn't seem to me to carry much threat first half, despite I felt us being in control. I thought when Ida came on, to me, Terry, that was when suddenly the focal point of the team and suddenly that final third became one that we're going to utilise. There was a moment he had a brilliant first touch. There was a tackle by the Aberdeen player, a couple of clearances, remember that? And I think one of them turned out to be a save by Doohan.
That was Johnson and Patty's efforts, yeah.
Yeah, but that was all, Ida, when he takes that first touch, absolutely superb. Then his header that header goes in every day of the week. And that doing, what a save. Fair play to him. But I think you're right, is tailor-made. But the one thing we can be consistent on, and you'll agree, is when one goes off, having left out many questions for defences to ask, the other one comes on with a whole new set of questions for defenders to ask. And at that point, they'll be 60, 70, 80 minutes into their game and feeling a bit fatigued. That can be fun.
I know we'll never find out, but I would imagine the manager has had the majority of the starting lineup picked probably for the last couple of days. But it would be interesting to know just when he's got up there and he's seen how windy it is, has he given any consideration to potentially changing the starting lineup just based on the conditions? Because Ida just would. It was just to give you that physical presence up there. And I think he's probably better than Kyogo in that sort of chaotic environment where everything's a little bit all over the place and not just running as you would normally expect. There's people misjudging balls, there's people misjudging clearances. The ball's in the air a bit more.
Is that not then when you think Bernardo? I spoke at the weekend to you. I said I think Bernardo will come in. I thought it'd be Engels that would play with him. I thought Bernardo would definitely come in. I said McCowan might be unlucky, but when you see these conditions, who's got the experience of these conditions? Den Spark was called off fucking 6 times or something last year, where he was captain of. He knows how to play in the worst conditions, worst pitches of the lot, is Luke McCowan. That angle, and I mean, Attack's first half, the debate on here probably would have been stronger. Of course, we get to then the goal, and again, it's the depths and subs. Thought Vai shouldn't have been on the booking, which I think led to him being subbed off, by the way. Thought was ridiculous.
The referees tried to
correct what he thought was an error.
Possibly right what he thought was a wrong from before. There was nothing
Bizarre,
in it. There wasn't a foul either way. It was just two players came together equally.
But it was the same two.
Yeah.
And he's went, oh fuck, right, I must have been wrong the first time. It's just stupid. But what it leads to is Greg Taylor out of position. I just said that for Liam Greenlaw. That dink ball's brilliant. Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. And that finish from Attack with the outside of the boot, I think was very important for Attack's point of view. It'll make no odds to him. He gets paid tens of thousands of pounds a week or a month, whatever you want to call it. But from the podcast point of view that we would be discussing tonight, I think up to then, it would have been, why the fuck did he get recalled? He wasn't great the game before he was left out. He was awful tonight. Why was he still in the park? But of course, Mark Kernan calls him a moments man. That was a moment, mate. And that finish he does is well better than maybe we'll get the props for. It's sort of half volley outside of the boot. It's deliberate, very deliberate, and it's not easy to do. Then you factor in the conditions we've just waxed lyrical about. So we've got to be consistent. This isn't like it became a sunny day and he's playing on a perfect lawn at that moment in time. He's factored all that in. And that's probably why, from Attack's point of view, it's so easy on the Iwies technique. This one didn't look as beautiful. But if you actually look how he strikes the ball, the contact of the ball in his boot, perfect on that outside of the boot, mate. It's timing, execution, calmness under pressure, forgetting the conditions. And what I've got to like about it is he does it when he knows deep down, if we know, he's playing shite now. And he's not in form. He's not had a great game. It's brilliant to see a player who can remove all that. And that's so important. You always think about a striker. Kyogo's done it many a time. Not been in the game at all. So it's not been your best afternoon. But when you get opportunities, you seize them and you capitalise on them. That, though, was above and beyond the typical striker's goal in that moment, because it wasn't actually an easy finish. It was proper takers. Fair play to him, mate. And an unlikely, but should be praised, delicate, beautiful chip for Mr. Taylor in the centre midfield role.
Yeah, those two players that combined for that goal have been two of the more maligned players this season, I think it's fair to say. And again, Taylor popping up in an area where we've now got used to seeing him, but we traditionally wouldn't expect to see your left back. And a real quality ball. And I think even on a normal day with normal conditions, that finish would be pretty special. But I think just with the wind, the way it was for him to get the power into it to beat the keeper, but also keep it down and keep it on target. Really, really special finish. And again, it's probably one of those moments you're thinking, I really want to see him kick on now, because I'll be honest, I felt when we were bringing on McKeown, Hatate would have been favourite for me for coming off. I thought Bernardo had been
100%, mate,
influential, so I was a wee bit surprised at that. But obviously, the manager knows best, and he's come up trumps for us. I think if you then look again at the chance the Aberdeen lad had from outside the box, he had plenty of time, and he just wasn't able. I mean, I think he almost hit the corner flag, and again, the conditions had, I'm guessing, a massive part to play in that. So that finish from Hatate, just to the timing of it was just perfect.
So does that not feed in then to the argument perfectly that Brendan's went, McKeown definitely capable of I think he's been good consistently when he's came on, but also capable of the unpredicted, the unexpected. But if Hatate is this moments player, as he's been described as of late on the bus, that's why Rodgers left him on. Because tonight's conditions, the way this game is going to be defined by a magic moment. It's going to be something, and he's capable of out the ordinary stuff. That's what I think that is. I doubt Brendan would disagree that if you're looking at the three midfielders on a normal night's work, Rodgers would analyse Hatate's display and go, right, you're definitely the weakest link so far, so we've got the options, you're going to be the one to come off. Instead, I think you leave some of that on going, he's your joker in the pack. Because this game won't be won by just Celtic doing, trusting the process all night and the chance will come. This was going to be a moment, and I think that's why he's been left on. But I think you've got to give kudos to Hatate as well, because he must know he's out of sorts now and not playing the best football of his spell at Celtic. And I think when you can just remove all that, and it's a good reminder as well of the technical ability he's got. Terry, and we're nearly half an hour, and I don't want to delay the show too much tonight. I know everyone's got work and stuff. I just want your overall thoughts then on the landscape of the league. Maybe not so much where you think it'll land, because you think it'll land with us. Yeah. Is the hammer blows been handed out further to Rangers or anything by us, getting that 1-0 win when they've had their biggest win of the season? The Aberdeen now going to potentially be in free fall? Where do you see the landscape of the Scottish game right now?
To be honest, Bhoycie, I'm almost at the stage now where I don't even care about the Rangers result. And
the caring bit is fair enough, but based on it, do you think there is any sort of? Well, put it this way.
I don't think there's any title challenge. I think there's one team.
But we play a League Cup final though in 2 weeks, yeah?
Yeah.
So if we factor that in, Rangers will be growing in confidence, getting closer to second place, and hey, kudos to them. Fair enough. We love underdogs, rivaling sort of Diddy teams for second place, so good on them for making a fist of that now and catching up. But with their biggest win of the season, and obviously you can't deny it, a mightily impressive win in Europa League yet again from them, 4-1 against.
I don't know how
you can't deny that. I mean, I'm not
know
going
how they keep doing it.
Fuck knows how they keep doing it, mate. I mean, it's a sham, but they've backed it up with I think they got a plucky 1-0 win against St Johnstone away. But then they've had their biggest win of the season. So you just need to remember there's a League Cup final coming up. 90 minutes, anything can still happen. So what I'm thinking about is when I'm looking at larger landscapes, we felt going into Hampden, based on Aberdeen getting their draw at Celtic Park, this is going to be nip and tuck. It went completely the other way. It was like you'd annoyed Brendan and we just fucking savaged them, 6-0 or whatever. But them coming up to Hampden could be them that have licked wounds and maybe healed some as well along the way. And whilst they start seeing a chance to get back to second in natural order, I'll call it that, as us being top, them being second at least, you know what I mean, to appease their fans. Just going into the League Cup final, coming up, is things beginning to change right now, and we're seeing at least a more confident Rangers potentially in that as the opposition in that final.
I don't know so much, Bhoycie. The European stuff is impressive, and like I say, I'm not quite sure how they go from drawing 1 each at home to Dundee United to then going and scoring 4 in a very impressive away victory in France. But
they backed it up with 2 wins, though.
Hats off to them. They've been doing well in the Europa League for some time now. The cup final, no matter what the position is in the league, the cup final isn't a gimme. It's a one-off game, and anything can happen. But up until tonight and last Thursday, they'd really been struggling for goals. They were winning games by the odd goal. I think there was a stat that Celtic's goal difference compared to their goals scored, there was like a difference of 25 or 30 or something like that. I think what will happen in the league is Celtic will drop very, very few points. Aberdeen will be nowhere near as consistent as they have been in the first quarter of the season. Rangers and them will sort of play it out for second place. Rangers will probably catch them at some point. The cup will present Rangers only real opportunities to get silverware, and because of that, they'll be dangerous in this cup final, and also if we then meet them in the Scottish Cup. But I don't think it's being arrogant or overconfident to feel that it's going to be very, very, very difficult for either of those teams to mount any kind of title challenge based on what we've seen.
No, I don't think that either.
Based on the gears that we know that we've got to go through, based on the way that even if we're not playing well, we've been able to find a way to get a job done, and also based on the fact that if the league was tight in any way, in January time, we've got the finances to go out and strengthen. And I heard the manager saying that he didn't get everything he wanted done during the summer, and that there was definitely an intention to go out and bring in a couple of players in January. And he did use the word quality again. And when he's talked about that, that's usually meant an Engels type or an Ada type signing in terms of pushing the boat out financially.
Yeah, no, I get you. Well, I think as well he'll be sitting there with a wee bit of evidence now as well. His evidence only gets stronger with the.
Well, if you're qualified for the next round by that stage, or you get that done.
I think I got it right, guys. Yeah,
that's another one to present to the board. Right, we're in the next round of the Champions League, but it's also something that can help you attract players for them to see that you're getting out of that group stage, you're getting into the next round. So,
as on the other side of things, when it comes to Aberdeen, have we kind of created their own downfall with that Hampden pummeling? I think since then they've they've lost to St Mirren.
Yeah,
they
lost.
drew a game.
Drop points to Hibs and Hearts.
Drop points. Yeah, and then obviously tonight they've lost their home 100% league record as well. We're creators of our our rivals' downfall as well, which is fun. It's fun. Yeah, it is. I mean, who cares who finishes second? You know what I mean? Second's bottom as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? But I just wanted your thoughts on whether it changed any sort of dynamic as to how the next few months flow, particularly with the League Cup final in mind.
I'm really looking forward to the League Cup final. Really looking forward to it, and I still think there's plenty of jeopardy there. It's definitely not a gimme in any shape or form.
You certainly don't want the conditions we had tonight, Terry. Anyway, I think that is abundantly clear, because tonight was one I was really looking forward to, and I think when you said at the start, 10 minutes in, you kind of realised this ain't going to roll. It did. I thought so. It actually spoiled a lot of the good bits we were doing, that nothing really was coming off in the final third to show, even if there weren't goals, just to sort of rubber stamp the fact we were dominating the game a bit. But anyway, we'll let you go. It's that time of night. It's a wee short and sweet one on the P.M.P midweek. We will be back, obviously, at the weekend. When we play the weekend, Terry, you'll know better than me. You've got your notes.
3 o'clock Saturday.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's sound. I will see you Saturday evening, and I'll see you all then.
See you later.
Cheers, guys. See you.